Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Maddie's Rap. I'm your host, the multiple award-winning author, Matt D. Talford. And today, we're going to be talking about, I don't know why it's called controversial. It shouldn't be controversial. It was controversial, I guess, when the first episode dropped in week 1. But we're talking about the Amazon Prime series, the new Amazon Prime series, Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. All right? But before we do that, I want to send a special shout out to a very special group of people, my returning subscribers. Thank you. You guys amaze me with your comments, the likes, the shares, and the new subscriptions. So if you're new to the channel, I would encourage you to stick around, watch the content. Hopefully you enjoy it and you'll consider becoming a subscriber. It costs you absolutely nothing but 1 or 2 calories, however many calories it takes to click that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I upload a new video, slide that notification bell up to all, and then you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And again, thank you. Now, let's get on to it. Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. First off, why was this controversial? For those of you who are not familiar with the show, you may or may not be familiar with the series, the movie series, Lord of the Rings. There were 3 of them. They came out in the early 2000s. I saw all 3 of them at the theater. I ended up buying the DVD. It is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring was the first movie. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers was the second one. And Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King was the third movie. So now, is it a prerequisite to watch those films before you see the Amazon Prime series? Absolutely not. But what we want to do is we want to talk about, first off, what made that series controversial to some. Well, there was a big Twitter storm about the ethnicity of some of the characters in the film. And if anything, I think they helped Amazon Prime actually pick up new subscribers or new viewers, because a lot of people wanted to know what all the buzz was. And I'm just here to comment on that really quick before I get into what we're going to be talking about with that, because that's not it. In fact, there's so many elements to Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power, that I will not try to cover them all in one video, because I want to keep this video, I shouldn't say it, short, okay? So, sitting out here in nature, by the way, if you guys can't tell. Now, let me get rid of that notification because I don't like it. Okay, now, controversy. What was controversial, Matt? Some people thought that the addition of so-called, y'all seen my video, what can simple bags of flour teach us about race? Okay, you know I do use the double air quotes when I say black and white. But some people were disappointed that the writers and the casting directors went away from the original film by including people of color in the cast. Now, if you understand that the Lord of the Rings covers a certain part of planet Earth, okay, or what is planet Earth, the fantasy planet Earth in the series, you understand that there are tons of different types of people that live on the planet, all right? So to get upset and say, well, this doesn't stay true to the original series or the book, I think is a little bit asinine. I mean, in fact, if you're going to be upset about that, then you probably ought to be upset about the casting of Charlton Heston and Yul Brynner as Moses and Pharaoh, respectively, in the film The 10 Commandments. All right, because let's keep it 100. You didn't have white people in ancient Israel or ancient Egypt, okay? You didn't. Let's just keep it. Let's just call it 100. All right, y'all. Let's just call a thing. Let's set that to the side. If you look at that area today, I use this example in another video and in some conversation. If you look at that area of the world today, one of the things that sticks out to you is the tropical trees. Okay, you have palm trees and you have palmetto trees. Now, if you were to ask yourself what temperate zone or what climatic zone are those trees indigenous to, you would say the tropics. Now, what is also indigenous to the tropics is melanin. You need melanin to survive in the tropics, all right? Without it, you start to have problems. And that's one of the themes, believe it or not. I'm gonna save that. We'll save that to another episode. This is gonna be a part 1. But okay, let me get on past that. So again, if you got a problem with the casting of Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power series on Amazon Prime Video, check yourself, all right? Look at the script. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. Listen, as a writer myself, I am completely thrilled with the writing. The writers have done a fantastic job. I'm like, wow. What would it have been like to be a part of that writing staff for that film? The writing is amazing. Guys, if you watch it for nothing else but the writing, it is beautiful. It's heartwarming in areas. It's you get thrills, you get tears. It's beautiful. Now, so I'm gonna talk about this first element that I noticed in The Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power, and then I'm going to end this video. We'll set you up for the second one. I'll do a second installment to this because, again, there are so many elements to talk about. But The Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. What is one theme in there that is special? I'm going to say this theme of the journey of the soul. So now, let me tell you, I should have said this up front, and I'll put this in the title. Spoiler alert, okay? If you have not seen it yet, this is a spoiler alert. You may want to go and get caught up. There are 7 episodes, and I just, they air, the new episodes air on Friday. I'm not sure how many episodes they're going to do for the season. I want to say maybe it's 10, but yeah, they're 7. They're up to episode 7 right now. But now, let me get on to it. The journey of the soul is covered in Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. Here's how. Sauron, who is one of the main characters in the film, or in the series, if you go back to the movies, he was considered to be this evil bad guy, whatever, okay? But if you look at this current series, he is still thought to be, by those who are fighting the evil in Middle-earth, they still thought that Sauron was this evil, wicked guy that's trying to take over the world and destroy it and just turn the whole world to evil. But what you find out is when Sauron enters, and I can't remember which episode it is, when he comes, he falls down from the stars, and you see this big flash, this ball of flame that comes down from the heavens, and it sets this whole area ablaze where he is. And he's inside, he's lying in this crater in fetal position. So, you look at that, and that is a depiction of birth, okay? So one of the other characters, a little girl, she comes, and her and her friend, her ride or die, they're out about doing what they do, picking up food or whatever. They see this thing happen, and the one brave girl, like, don't go over there. And the other one, she's like, no, we got to go see what that is. She goes and she sees this giant man lying in fetal position inside the middle of this burning crater. And to me, that represented birth. Because what happens after that is, in different areas of the episode, or episodes to follow even, he's trying to figure out how to get back there. So he knew that he came from the stars, and he wanted to go home, but he didn't know how to get there. So he's going around, he's trying to figure out this new place he's in. He doesn't speak the language. He's not familiar with where he is. If that is not part of the journey of the soul. But you may say that, Matt, that's not saying enough. Well, let me take you a little bit further. So, what we find out is that Sauron actually has these spiritual and energetic powers. And not only does he have the power to cause destruction, but he also has the power to bring life. And it is really captured in episode 7, where he touches. So we find out in episode 7 that there is an evil that is moving throughout the earth that is causing all of the plant life to die and just causing the cattle to get sick and everything. And now, if that ain't some themes about, if that isn't a similar theme of what's going on in the world today, right? So I got another one for y'all. I can't wait to share it, but I'm not going to do it on this one. It'll be in part 2 of this. Anyway, it's captured in episode 7 where he touches this tree that is apparently dead, not bearing fruit, and the tree, there's this power going into it, and the people are looking at it like, wait, what's he doing? Is he bringing the tree to life? Well, one of the dead branches falls off, and it falls on these 2 girls. Not a branch, a limb. It's just a pretty big limb. The girls don't get hurt, but the people are telling, hey, man, you got to go. You don't belong here anyway. You're not one of us. Not one of us, right? Shout out to all my star seeds, indigo children, my light workers, all right? All right, all of those of you who feel like you don't belong here, and you've been in these circles of people in school, elementary, high school, college, whatever, even in some of your adult lives who have made you feel like you just don't belong in these circles. Shout out to you, all right? Anyway, so they tell him, hey, get out of here, get going. You don't belong here, whatever. You almost killed these girls, whatever. And so he's sad, but he leaves. And the little girl who was one of the ones that had the limb fall on her, she gets up and she hands him this apple. And it's the only apple she could salvage from these trees. But she's like, well, you know what? I want you to have it. So she gives this man, this giant man with these strange powers and this strange tongue, her last. She befriended him over the episodes, but she gives her friend the last apple, and she watches in tears as he leaves. What we find out the next day is they wake up, and all of the trees are now flowering, and they have fruit on them. Like overnight, they went from dead trees to having fruit. And these people that migrate to find the food when the seasons change, their baskets were overflowing. And the girl is the only one who remembered that this giant man touched the tree and healed it. So, what did I take away from that? What I took away from that was that what we find out about Sauron is that he actually is not as evil as he was made out to be. He wasn't the evil force that he was made out to be. So, he's actually a force for good, and he's healing. And so, the point I was making in there with regards to the journey of the soul, he knew he came from the stars. One of the old men from the village gave him a star map and said, I hope this helps you find your way home. And can he get back to the stars from off the ground? Probably not. He probably needs to leave this vehicle, exit the body, so that his spirit can return. I don't know. I don't know what the writers are going to do with it, but I'm just looking at the parallels. So, the last thing I'll say on this is this. Sauron came back to the earth to continue a task that he started in his last lifetime. He came here to continue that task. He knew that there was something he needed to do, but he was just trying to get his legs under him and understand where he was and try to totally remember who he was, because he didn't even know his name. He didn't even know his own name. But he just knew that he had something that he had to do, and he had this gift inside of him. And we find out in episode 7 that he has the ability to reverse the darkness that these other beings are bringing onto the planet. And at the end of that episode, we see these 3 evil beings. They try to pick up the trail of Sauron because they want to stop him from returning life to the earth. They wanted to turn the earth dark, to take all of the life out of the vegetation, take all the life, enslave the people, enslave them, because they weren't trying to kill them all, they were trying to enslave them. So, and Sauron is there to bring life back to the earth and set the people free. That was my takeaway from Lord of the Rings, okay?
Listen,
so that's all I have.
When I went back to review the video that I just recorded in production, when it's time to edit it, I realized that I left out one key point, so I wanted to just take a moment and cut that in. I'm going to slice this in, and then we'll close the video out. When I say that Sauron came back to finish what he started, I forgot to mention the fact that if you are familiar with the Lord of the Rings movies, you know that Sauron is an evil person. He's an evil person in the Lord of the Rings movies. But when we're looking at this through the lens of the journey of the soul, and you see what he's doing in the Rings of Power, you have to ask yourself, is this the part where karma hits you from the standpoint of, okay, you did all this evil stuff in this last lifetime. Now you have to go back and undo the evil that you did by doing good. That is the question that we ponder as we look at Lord of the Rings of Power, through the lens of the soul's journey. Now, if you want to see more on how the journey of the soul is depicted in film, check out the video that I did breaking down how The Wizard of Oz is a depiction of the journey of the soul. And I will leave a link in the description box. And if you're watching this on a phone or a tablet, you should see a little card pop up right there, depending on which perspective you're watching it in. I think full screen, maybe you don't see that pop up. But if you're looking at it on your phone or on a tablet, that's where the video is not in full screen, then you should see that pop-up card. Anyway, yeah, the question is, yes, Sauron is coming back to do something else in the same realm that he just left in the Lord of the Rings films. But is the fact that he's doing something good part of the continual journey of the soul, where hey, he was an evil being in his last incarnation. So now, because of the evil that he did, he has to come back and do good. That begs the question. And again, when you look at the beings that are chasing him, you have to wonder if they are afraid of his power. If he had all of that power and he used it for evil before, what happens if he takes that same power and uses it for good? That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna now I'll continue with the ending of the original video.
I cannot wait to tell you about the orcs, but I'm gonna save that till part 2 of this video. I will tell you about the orcs and the significance of the orcs that we also see parallels in today's world. I always say this, you know, when you're watching some of these series and these movies that come out today, don't just look at them for entertainment. Look for the story within the story. That is the excitement I have about watching some of these films and some of these series. And there's only certain ones that excite me. And they have to carry certain themes. They got to carry themes that make my antenna run up. But when I see these themes, I get excited. And when I see the parallels between what the Hollywood writers are depicting in the real world, I find it fascinating. So I would encourage you guys to check that out if you have not seen it. Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. You do not have to watch the 3 Lord of the Rings movies in order to get up to speed with that. If you want to do it, fine, binge watch them on a weekend. Those movies on average are about 3 hours each. So, and they're available if you have Amazon Prime as well. I've got the DVD series, but I'm probably going to go back and watch them on Amazon Prime because the DVDs I got they were like, you know, where you could flip it over 2 sides and see standard format and then widescreen format. So it was prior to the days of Blu-ray. But anyway, I kept them as an archive in case I never wanted to show them to a nephew or niece or something anyway, whatever. But that's all I got for you guys today. Check it out, Lord of the Rings, The Ring of Power. Watch it because there are a lot of parallels in that film and the world that we live in today. So, I told you guys I'm an award-winning author, 2 books, From Fear to Faith, a survivor story, a powerful story that will illustrate to you in very vivid detail how having the right mindset can help you to achieve what is thought to be impossible. I did it. I'll show you how I did it. I do that so that you can reach down inside of you for whatever you might be going through. Whatever you might be going through, that story is going to teach you how to look inside and how to have faith. It's going to teach you how to pray effectively. Okay, I got a video I put out on how to achieve the results you want through praying the right way, and I'll put a link to that in the description box below. But that video gives you so many nuggets and shows you how to achieve that which is thought to be impossible. It shows you how having the right mindset can help you to overcome the worst of circumstances. Anybody can pull for you, anybody can pray for you. But if you don't believe that you can accomplish what they're praying, whatever breakthrough they're praying for you, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. That's like saying, hey man, we pray that Matthew finishes this 26 miles marathon that he's running or whatever, and I quit after mile 10. Why did I quit? Well, because I didn't think I could get to mile 26. Now that didn't happen. I was just using that as an example. But that's an example of how, you know, it doesn't matter how many you can have the whole world praying for you. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. Now, you don't have to have one person praying for you. If you just believe in yourself that you can do it, you're going to knock that out. That's From Fear to Faith, the survivor story. Okay, check it out. You can get it in paperback at my website, www.talfordarts.com. You can also get it on Amazon Kindle and Apple iBooks, or you can also get it on audiobook for those of you that prefer audiobook format. And by the way, there was no robot reading it. I narrated it myself, okay? And then, last but not least, my second award-winning title is Stuck in an Elevator, a tale of passion and self-discovery that takes place high above the Los Angeles skyline. If you've got 1 hour, I will entertain you and teach you some things and perhaps even walk you down memory lane, because I've had a few people tell me, wow, something very similar happened to me earlier on. So it's beautiful anytime I'm able to write something that readers can connect with and, you know, get a change, a breakthrough, an uplifting from, whatever. I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. Listen, tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You show it. Love is an action word. It's a verb, okay? If you focus on the verb version of love, the state of being of love, the noun version, it will abound everywhere you go. But it starts with you. You show love, all right? I love you guys. Take care.